Mr. Jack Flood, back on the podcast. 6'5", by the way. How you doing this morning?
Good, man. Just I'm in off season right now. I know there's a lot of people watching this are runners and do track. I start training October 1st. I basically shut my season down after the Olympic trials, um, June 21st. So basically, my life has just been I traveled all summer in Europe, and it's just putting the pieces together so I could put myself in a situation to train and support that because that's my main focus in life is to be the best decathlete I could possibly be, highly ranked in the world. But as you know, if you do track or whatever, it's very hard. It doesn't produce as much money unless you're literally the best. But the decathlon's not an event where it's like you're I lose money doing the decathlon. So I have to do things outside of it, and like I'm sure you guys see me on social media and like that's the key. If it wasn't for social media, I'd kind of be screwed. So that's what right now I'm maximizing that, building a community, building other type of things to support what I'm doing, and it's been working out. So it's just about maximizing my time. Like I just see all these people, they just waste time. It's like, what are you doing? It's like you can create something. Like Dominic's 19. He has a bigger following than me right now on Instagram. He's interviewing like the best Olympians, and he's creating the life he wants to create. He gets to do what he wants. So I just know there's a lot of people out in the same situation. They're either just getting out of college, like how do I do this, or they're in college and like this just coming to the end. I still want to do track, and it's like you have an opportunity. It's like the golden age to do it through social media. So that's basically what I'm spending my time with right now.
Many different directions that I want to take this conversation, and we'll see where God takes this one. So we'll be free flowing here. But something I
Yeah.
do want to bring up just at the outset of this, and this might be like a long kind of question. It's just a statement, quite frankly, because I don't think I've shared this with you. But I've talked about it on podcasts. I've shared it with a lot of people. You're on my podcast mid-February of last year, 2023. So almost
Yeah.
coming up on 2 years since we last spoke. And it was super impactful for many reasons. But there was a life-changing moment, Jack, that you instilled in me. And it was when you were talking about praying big prayers. I'm
Yeah.
about to tell you a crazy story. So you're talking about the importance of praying big prayers. And I told you about, the verse of, asking you shall receive, seeking you will find, knocking the door will be open to you. You talked about the importance of praying big prayers, asking for things way bigger than your imagination. After that podcast, in the podcast, you said something that really impacted me, and it was you pray like almost daily. God, I pray that successful or financial opportunities might chase me down, was your
Yeah.
verbiage. I started praying that prayer every single night. In February, I didn't think I couldn't not go to college. Like I didn't see a path, specifically a financial path where that would be viable. A few weeks later, I get my first $10,000 deal. And the year before, I had only made like $200 from the running effect. And I am a firm believer that that was a result of praying that prayer every single night.
Dude.
So I want to thank you, man, because I legitimately think that prayer was transformational for me, and it came as a result of that conversation. And if that deal didn't happen, I would not have taken a gap year. I wouldn't have been able to. So
Really? So that's
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So I read something this morning. It was like you need. Let me actually think I have it right here. So I'm reading this really good top secret book. But a mind attuned to currents of faith is attuned beyond its own physical dimension. Meaning, when you have faith in the unseen, or like whether you're working towards things or you're praying, and, and I can't prove this, but like just test it out. Then shit starts working out. I don't know. I think if you're born on this earth and we have a creator, it's like so you have to spend time with the creator and be still and silent and just receive. And that's why I'm really pushing like even with my content is more of like very biblical stuff because that's what I'm expressing right now. That's what I'm going through in my life, and and I just want to share the good word. And I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, I'm misinterpreting the Bible, whatever, but I'm just gonna kind of speak my truth and how I live my life and philosophy. And I mean, it's worked for you, it's worked for other people, it's working for me. I mean, literally this morning I woke up. go straight to the sunset. Don't look at my phone, nothing. I mean, the sunrise. And I actually prayed that prayer today. I was like, I'm a walking ATM machine. I don't know. I guess it's affirmations. It's like the right people are chasing me down. Successful people are chasing me down. Um, Financial opportunities are chasing me down or raining down in abundance, whatever. So I don't know. I think if you're tuned to that type of thought, that's what you're going to attract. As long as you're putting the work in, because you can think all these things, but if you're not taking action, you're an idiot. And if you know what I'm saying, and if you're just taking action and you're not like in tune with the creator or yourself, you're going to burn out. It's not going to be fulfilling, and it's just like, what's the point? So it's like the combination
100%.
of action and like I don't know, just being actually truly internally fulfilled.
Yeah, I think so many people can hit the first aspect of praying big prayers, but so few back it up with action. And I'm a firm believer that God worked that miracle, but he worked that miracle because I was taking the steps to pursue that miracle. What I mean by that is I could pray, Jesus, I asked that financial opportunities might chase me down, and then sat on the couch and nothing would have happened. But it was the fact that I was doing a podcast every other day. It was the fact that I
Yeah.
was learning how to market it well that lined up with praying that big prayer.
And you
So
were
I always
getting
say,
nothing.
yeah, I'll always say like pray big prayers and back it up with action. And so few people back it up with action.
Oh, yeah, and I'll explain this. This is huge. So you didn't get that deal before. So you were doing all this work with so much uncertainty, with no result. It was painful. It was hurt. You're stressed. You're anxious, but you still have that attitude of like it's going to work out. Something's going to come. Most people feel the pain and then they give up or they run away. And it's like, dude, you were so close to the breaking point. Like this. We'll get into track because this year, okay, I'm turning 29. I training for the decathlon is so fucking hard. I'm like, and I make $0. It's super. It can be unmotivating because you're like, what's the point? No one gives a shit about this. But and I'm like, after the trials, this might be my last decathlon. I might be done. Like, what's the point? And I have these thoughts. Like, I'm at the top, and I have these thoughts. But then you know, I just keep training. I'm still in it, and injuries too. Like injuries suck, especially when like all you want to do is train. I still like deal with some Achilles issues, but I do so much stuff to where I could still manage that and train. But then I do really good at the trials. It was bittersweet because I didn't make the team, but I also PR'd and had an amazing meet. But it activated this thing inside me, and it was like, dude, this is all I want to do now because it was such. I was rewarded for all the work I did, and I never gave up. It was so hard that journey, but when I got such a good result, it it takes away all the bullshit and the pain and stuff. But if I just give up, I'd never get that reward. One and two, I would never unlock these certain parts of my mind where it's like, yo, let's go, let's keep going. Let's actually you started for a reason. You kept going. You got a result, and now it's like I'm making LA. Like that's what I'm. My whole mission in life is like everything I do is making LA because I actually went to Paris to watch it. My training partner Lyndon Richter got bronze, and I got to see his journey that whole year, him training, and then he showed out in the world, got bronze, the third best athlete in the world, and it's and I just saw the crowd of Paris supporting how they supported every French athlete, no matter what they did. Like that's the like almost I don't know. That mean it was so special, but it's in America, so it's even more important if you're an American to make that team. So it's like, all right, I'm going to shoot for that, and if I don't make it, okay. But who I became in every day, the process of training, and who I'm developing to be, and the impact I'm having on people, is still going to be a reward, if that makes any sense. But I'm kind of going on a tangent. I don't know where I'm really going with this. I'm kind of just like talking. But yeah, it's like people just give up and when it's hard. It's so easy to dream and fantasize about your goals, but taking action is how, and going through the hard shit is like who you actually are. Not when things are easy going.
I love that. So, so good. Something I do want to ask you about is I mentioned like the 6'5" comment in the beginning, could have mentioned the 200 IQ. Like, I think a lot of people might be coming to this episode having seen you on social media and like a lot of your funnier content. And I think you have started to pivot a little more towards more serious stuff. What's
Yeah.
your general like take on you have kind of two personalities, it's the same person. How do you balance like the things you just said where it's like crazy deep, people don't talk about this stuff, super impactful, while
Yeah.
also like producing content that just makes people crack up and laugh, and balancing both of
Yeah.
those? Because I bet people are listening to this right now. Some people are like, is this the same Jack Flood? Like
Yeah.
this
No,
goes
but
deep.
okay, so deep down who I am is super motivational, success oriented. Like ever since I was 18, all I'd listen to is like in read, just like all success, mindset, motivation. And I never really show that side of me because I don't know, I just haven't. But that's now that I'm like getting a little older and I'm like, holy shit, like all the 19, 18, 20 year olds like actually like look up to me. I want to spew out the right information and gear them. But humor is a sign of intelligence. So like I love. I'm kind of that's also a layered joke that I'm trying to display. But you need to laugh too. Like you can't take yourself too seriously, and like you need to turn it when it's time to work and focus. You know how to turn it on and work and focus. And when you know when to be fun and like funny and laugh, you know it's like two. It's a balance of life. So it's just who I am. It's not like yesterday. We just work the whole day. We go outside and we just started laughing because we see this like post on Instagram or something, and then I'm like, oh, let's make a video, like whatever. And then it's just the flow of life. And I think if you're truly like present, happy, and fulfilled, you can be super motivational and success oriented, and then also laugh and like release and let go. And yeah, I mean, nothing is better than hanging out with the boys and just like joking and laughing. Like we all have that side to us. And the 6'5" thing, I have to bring this up because that became such like I hope people perceive it the right way, and if you don't, you're kind of dumb. And that's what I realized. The internet is like it's very hard to see why people do what they do. So I'll explain it. Basically, you have to experiment on social media. So I was like, the 6'5" thing is funny. I put it out there. It blew up. Okay, so if it works, keep doing what works. So I kept doing what worked. But the reason I had that, it was I moved to Texas 2 years ago to train with Chris Hoffman. He's an Olympic bronze medalist in the decathlon. And the way I would train and move, he's like, "What is wrong with you? Like, why are you so tight? Why aren't you like expressing what you have?" He's like, "You're 6'5", and he's like, "You need an affirmation saying you're 6'5" because you move like you're 5'11". Like, I don't know. I was never. I'm not saying I'm not gifted athlete, but I was never. I had to work very hard to meet my talent. I wasn't just talented off the bat. There's a lot of movement patterns that, or even now, are still like very bad. But I was small, and I need to express myself. I didn't know. I don't view myself as tall. I don't identify, and I don't give a shit. I'm Jack Flood. I just live life. And so then I was like, you know what? The way I'm going to affirmation, I'm just going to add it to my post. And then it was just one and the same. It was like, I'm saying I'm 6'5", and it's funny as shit, and people are loving it every time I post it. So then I'm just gonna run with it, you know. And yeah.
Is there a post that you've made recently that you like laughed when you came up with the idea, and then you posted, and you know you just like were proud of the execution, thought it was hilarious? You've
Yesterday,
had
I
some really
was
good ones recently.
even yesterday I was like, so a dog can pee or shit on the sidewalk, but when I do it, I get arrested. It's like clearly I don't do that, but I thought that was funny.
Something else I appreciate from you is I think you give very general good advice on nutrition and whatnot, and I feel
Yeah.
like it annoys a lot of people. Even something as simple as like talking about how bad cereal is for you, and how like the CEO of Kellogg's was talking about how you should have it for dinner. What's
Oh
your
yeah,
what's your
it's
take on
so
that sort
messed
of
up.
stuff, and getting more into like I don't know, that kind of content can really frustrate the wrong audience. and I'm sure you've
Yeah.
experienced
No,
that.
dude, I'm learning so much about human nature through social media because it's like there's an obvious battle between information and what people think. And it's like, I don't know. I can argue I'm one of the healthiest people on the planet. I mean, and then you're gonna tell me cereal is good for you, and you're gonna comment on me like and defend it. Like, you're not gonna win. Like eating soybean oil and soy protein and corn, and and half the human population is obese in America. Like, you're not gonna win this argument against me. Like, clearly, there's a lot of bullshit food that they're just feeding, and I don't want to get in trouble for this or like it's just it's just the truth. Like these corporations are billion-dollar corporations and they're selling you shit food because they have to feed the human population. Like it just is what it is, and you need to break out of that and eat real whole food, nutritious food. Like they demonize eggs, they demonize steak, they demonize ground beef, and it's like, what do you mean? This is like the most nutritious food you can be, and it's like proof is I'm jacked. I'm the hell. Like look at me, and this is not ego. This isn't arrogance. It's just the truth. Like I don't have an ego over this. Like I don't care. I just want to train for the decathlon and be good at it. Like that's just a byproduct of training and eating correctly. You have no credibility if you're unhealthy. You just don't. So I try to make it humorous. I go like, oh, they're hiding this from you. It's like clearly, I mean, they actually are because you can look at mainstream article and mainstream news. They're supporting. There's like, is processed foods actually good for you or some shit? I'm like, bro, clearly it's not. Like, it's just not. Okay, we're doing something wrong here in America. If everyone, and it's not even just like, sure, you can get away with it if you train. Like I can eat anything. I can eat all the processed food because I train hard. I'll be super fit, healthy. The thing is, people don't do that. So when they eat the processed foods, it messes them up. Also, it's not good for your brain, like just long term. Probably not good for your gut. If you have your gut's all messed up, you're gonna have brain fog. You're gonna have anxiety. You're gonna have depression, and it's like you want to have your mind, your body as clean as possible. Feed it the best high quality foods. And if they're telling you eggs are bad for you, it you can almost argue like, yeah, they want you stupid because if they're telling you the most nutritious food, don't eat it. It's really sketchy. Like I don't know how else to explain it. Like the food pyramid is obviously a scam. It's from the government, and they're telling you to eat grains. It's like grains for breakfast. I mean, just logically, just think about that. And but because people are pushed this information their whole life, when you battle it, they freak out. It like melts their brain, and they have to defend it. It's like whatever. I don't know what else to tell you. Like you either wake up or you stay a sheep.
One of the craziest stats I think in modern day history is like 75% of American males would not be fit for military service if we had a draft.
No
And there's a
way.
great quote that I think goes along with that of like what used to make a man acceptable now makes a man exceptional. And for a listener out there, like it is so easy to be great nowadays because, yeah, like I mean, even we're just talking about diet here. Like, let's not get crazy complex and need to eat this and this and this. It's quite easy to eat better than 99% of the population by not having things like Pop Tarts
I
and
was gonna say Pop Tarts. How do you eat a Pop Tart in the morning? It's like look at it. It's like death. It's like it's not food. Like I don't know. You have to have eyes that see. Like I don't know. It's crazy to me. Pop Tart, cereal. I love cereal. I used to have a bowl of cereal every day since I was like 6. But I stopped eating it because I'm like, what is this? Like I just started looking at it, I'm like, this isn't food. And I didn't feel good after eating it. So I was like, I'm just gonna cut it out. And it's not even about what you should add into your diet. Sometimes it's just about what you eliminate stuff. So and the vegan thing, like people feel good after being vegan for like 2 weeks when they try it because they're eliminating a bunch of bullshit of processed foods. But then long term veganism doesn't work because animal products have nutrients you need. Why would you eat a shit ton of beans and chickpeas when you can just have a piece of steak, which has way more nutrients? But I don't want to get into that really because like think about in the Olympics, they had like more vegan options, and all the Olympians are like, we can't eat this, and they go somewhere else to eat because most athletes need animal products to. They train so hard, you need the calories, you need the nutrients, or if you're just gonna be eating all day. Like people, like gorillas, all they do is eat all day because that's an argument. Oh, gorillas are vegans. Like then they have to eat all day. Like, is that what you want to do? No, you don't want to do that.
What does a general day in the life of Jack Flood look like from an eating perspective?
All right, so because I'm not training,
Let's
I'm
talk about it like training, like leading up
training.
to like USA's.
All right, okay. So we get USA's in the morning. I'll have so I train in the morning, so like 9 a.m. Yeah, 9 a.m. So if I wake up at 6:37, I will drink coffee. I'll eat a Greek yogurt with honey. So little protein, little something in there, and sugar. But I like honey because it's just the best form of sugar. Then I'll have maybe some blueberries. Like depends what fruit I have that day. Blueberries, raspberries. But that's it. So I like to keep it light because one oh I have an apple too. I like to eat an apple. So all it is just sugar. Like I'm about to use all this fuel in this workout. So then during my workout, because I train around 5 hours a day, mid workout I'll have a banana, and after my workout I'll probably have like a protein a protein drink with creatine, and just to get some nutrients in. Then I'll lift. So after lift, let's say I'm done around 2 or 3, I will eat 4 or 5 eggs, glass of whole milk, and maybe like mozzarella cheese or something. Like just that. Then for dinner, I'll either have Chipotle or I'll make a shit ton of ground beef with more eggs and more milk. So it's just like pure protein, high calories type food. The whole milk is the activator because each glass of whole milk has like 150 calories. You have 3 a day. That's what 450 calories right there. 24 grams of protein, good fat, and yeah, that's what works for me. May not work for you, but the way I know if I'm doing it right is if I'm more sore than usual, then all right, you need to eat more. More volume of beef or eggs, more volume of whatever. If you're too full at night, you're eating maybe too much. You know, my weight basically, I maintain weight. I get heavier earlier in the year in fall because I'm lifting more weights, but then towards peaking and competing, I maintain a lower weight because I'm not maybe lifting as much. And and I'm running more probably. So it's all cycles, but in the general rule, it's like I don't count calories. I don't even count protein. I have a guesstimation. I get over 200 grams of protein in per day because you want 1 gram of protein per 1 pound of body weight really to maintain. So yeah, that's over my all. And then if I notice, oh, like I just train so much that I can have a Snickers bar if I want to. I can have whatever. It's not every day, but I can do it. And then if people look at me on the internet, they're like, well, all you do is eat this. It's like, no, I just happen to film and you have a perception that that's all I do every day. So it's just like that one time I have ice cream, or that one time I get a McDouble or In and Out. In and Out, sometimes I have In and Out too, but In and Out's not bad. You can just get a bunch of ground beef patties, just pure protein. And I train so hard, I'm not going to get fat. I'm just fuel. I'd rather get the calories in than not get them in, you know? So, yeah, that's kind of my philosophy around it, and it's been working. And,
Yeah, hard to say it's not working. Anyone who looks at you.
like, I don't know how, it's so easy. And yes, it's easy to me, so I can't judge because something hard to me, someone else could think, well, that's easy. So I'm not going to judge it. It's just like, don't overcomplicate it.
Do negative comments affect you? If they don't now, did they ever? And if so, how did you overcome them?
Um, Never. I almost just laugh. I just laugh because they're funny. And actually negative comments can actually help you because there's some truth to the feedback and you can there's some truth, but there's also like, dude, what are you talking about? And then it's just funny because if I had to go out and send a hate comment, that's just it would never happen. So it's like I almost feel bad for that person because they have to project whatever they're going through into a hate comment. It's a very interesting situation where it's like for someone to even do that, you have to be going through something. And I just be happy, like feel good. You don't have to spread that that into the world almost, you know. So I almost feel bad for the person. You know, I don't care. I don't take it personal. It's just sometimes I reply to troll them. I'll say someone will be like, "Well, you can't do that." I'll just say I'm 6'5". Like it's just a troll, and then it melts their brain again. They're like, "What? What kind of response was that?" It's just I don't know. It's you like if you're at a certain level of um, and almost as like a way to stay sane is just troll. I don't know. Just have fun with it.
On social media, do you think too many, yeah, just in general, because I know your response rate is going to be yes. Why do you think people care so much about what other people think about them? And for a
Yeah.
listener who is in that boat, how do they overcome that fear of comparison and fear of what will so and so think of me if I do X, Y, or Z? Because
Yeah,
I think it
that's
holds people back in life so much, that one thing.
yeah, no, I think it's just that's really tough because I've never I mean, I'll say this, when I was younger in middle school, even beginning of high school, I was super insecure, super fearful what people thought of me, the opinions of others. I wouldn't do that because oh, what if that person cares? It's I feel like God put me through that to learn not to do that. And now I'm kind of free. And when I discovered like it's none of your business. It's none of my business what you think of me. Like it doesn't matter. No one gives a shit about you. Like I almost have that mentality. Like no one cares about you. You posted a video. It's a blip in time. No one gives a fuck. No one's gonna remember. Uh, I'm not gonna remember tonight. Oh, remember that video Sarah posted? Like I don't give a shit. Like attention is so fleeting. Like no, like Donald Trump almost got assassinated 2 months ago, and no one remembers. Like attention just goes. So it's like no one. It's just like no one gives a fuck at the end of the day. So that's my mentality where it's like, um, in 5 years from now, no one's gonna remember. Like who cares? Like and if you can overcome and feeling embarrassed or feeling criticized, you're free. Like you're free. You do have to care to a certain degree because if you don't care, then you can get off the walls. And like obviously, I care if I'm going out um, to the store or I'll just walk around in my boxers. You know, so I do care. Like you can't get too not into caring because then like it's just an imbalance.
You
So
have to be self-aware,
yeah,
but
like
don't let thoughts of I would say it has to be in terms of like you taking action towards your dreams. That's where you
yeah,
should not
and
care.
and then the reward should overcome any embarrassment that you perceive because it's like okay, I either don't do this and I hate my life, or I do this, I overcome it, and I get good reward. And plus, if you realize the most significant people of our time are criticized constantly. So if you're scared of criticism, and that's the number one thing that holds people back, like frankly, I know this. You're an idiot. Like I don't know what else to tell you. Like you're an idiot to care. This the thing is also this like the world doesn't revolve around you. Like yes, let's say you have 130,000 followers. I have 130,000 followers. I can still go walk around and no one knows who I am. So it's if your ego is that big that you think people care that much and you have 2,000 followers, you're just stupid. Your perception is off.
You mentioned the Trump assassination and how no one really remembers it. And it reminded me of a tweet from Alex Hormozy, and he tweeted this February 7th, 2023. So the timeline of 5 months is off here. But he said, The Queen of England died 5 months ago. She ruled an entire nation and accumulated more wealth than 99.99% of humans. And yet you haven't thought about her except for this tweet. You're going to die. Everyone will move on. Do what you want. It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely, I guess it's a grim perspective, but it's freeing, and you just got to live your life. Like you are develop confidence, get over your insecurities, and do what you want to do. It's that simple.
What are some other things you see in society that hold the average individual back, specifically with the opinion of younger people listening, like high school, college age? What do you think
Yeah.
holds them back from experiencing the life they want to live, the success they want to have?
I think it's just mainly trying to fit with the crowd and being accepted. And it's human nature, it's your brain, like protecting yourself. Because if you're different, like against the tribe, like evolutionarily, like you don't, humans, dude, we're still in a human brain. So it's like very tribalistic. Whereas if you're different, then your brain kind of, like you can't, if you walk into a room of like really successful people, you're almost stifled right away. But if you walk into a room where you know everyone and you're like almost the the like king of that social situation, you're going to be unstifled. Your voice projection is going to be louder. You're going to talk to people better. So I think a lot of younger people don't feel comfortable in their own skin because they they're afraid of that judgment. But you have to let go of that. Also, they're young in the game, so they don't have the confidence because they stray away from being uncomfortable. They haven't pushed through pain. When things get hard, they back off. So you have to really know yourself. Once you know yourself and once you know what you want, and that's why training is so important because it's you versus you. You're developing yourself. You're going through pain. You're realizing what progression looks like. You realize how to make goals, and you can't stop a man who knows what he wants. I know what I want. So I'm gonna let the opinion of you stop me? What a shame. You know what you want. You're gonna speak your truth. You're gonna reach out to people, like you're gonna have the balls to reach out to the best athletes. And then because you do that, you get rewarded for it. If you never did it, then you get nothing. So I was also in a situation where I had no choice, where it was like I'm gonna make this work or I'm screwed. So then that almost if you go all in on plan A, your brain will find ways to make it happen no matter what. So I don't know if that answers your question for younger people, like, but yeah, get over your insecurities, like attack them, stop running away from them.
Most people listening to this podcast and most people on earth in general want to be spectacular, but try to fit in. And by very nature, those things contradict each other. And to that point, there's this great quote that backs that up. That says, "I'm astounded by how many people want to be spectacular in life, but also want to be normal. By being normal, you are by definition aiming for average. Normal people get normal results. Exceptional people get exceptional results. You literally can't do what everyone else does and expect to not get what everyone else has got. By doing what everyone else does, you guarantee average results."
Yeah, no, I was actually, you posted a video recently on that. I was watching it.
Really?
Yeah, you posted it was like a bunch of videos of like professional track athletes, and Coleman was with the American flag. But that's the thing, like everyone idolizes Tom Brady and all these people, but they don't understand like he's only there because he was different than everyone. Um, you have to be almost okay with being alone all day, like very. My journey, I would say, to where I got to my level is there's some days I don't talk to anyone because I'm just so focused on improving. And I'm sure you've had this too, where it's like you're up earlier than everyone. You're putting the best habits and routines into your system because all this is significant. Every small action I take makes a difference. Like in college, I didn't hang out with anyone because I'm I don't give a shit. I don't need your validation. I want to do what I want to do. I want to become a national champion. So I maybe surrounded myself with two other people who like got it, and that's okay. You rather have a few people that you stick with. I'm never going to waste my time with people who don't have the same mission and um, purpose as me. It's just not going to happen. And when you separate yourself from the pack, you only attract like-minded people. And like something I've been saying a lot recently is like, everyone knows the quote, you become who you surround yourself with. It's like, okay, you know that, right? So then you still hang out with losers. You still hang out with people who bring you down. It's like, where's your logic? What, like, break away from the pack and do what you want to do. That's the way to happiness. Like, choose the one thing and go all in on it. And then I found that through that, everything you want in life kind of comes together. Like, I chose the decathlon. I'm here at 29. I'm still doing it. If someone I'm in a great group. I'm training with the one of the best decathletes in American history, and someone who just got the bronze medalist. How did I get in this position? It's because I never stopped, and that's what I'm saying. I chose that one path, and everything kind of came together. Yeah, there was a lot of hard times. Yeah, there was lonely times, but now I'm in this situation where it's like it's perfect timing because I can. I'm in the perfect situation for the next 4 years to almost make that ultimate goal of an Olympian, which could be my last year in my career. What an ending that would be, you know?
What a sick
And
ending,
everyone's
dude.
story, everyone's process is special, is different. And you need to really analyze your story and how you're impacting people in a positive or negative way. And you need to take that very seriously. So every day when you wake up, you have to demand more of yourself than you actually have. You have to build the work capacity, and it's a huge responsibility. I don't know. That's just me.
We talked about haters earlier, like negative comments earlier. I came across an Instagram reel a few weeks ago. It was a guy talking from like a speech or a TED talk or something, and he had this great line that I love. He said, "Be so good they can't ignore you." What's your take on that? It's like
Be so
soaking
good.
it.
Yeah, like when you're that good, like Noah Lyles is a good fact, is a good thing like that. Like you can hate Noah Lyles, you can love Noah Lyles, but dude's got good. He won the Olympic gold in the 100, and you can't ignore him. But he's got a lot of noise around him because he's winning. Like, what are you gonna? You're not him. How can you hate someone? You probably never even met the guy. Then like you only have perception, But he probably worked his ass off. He won the 200. Maybe like there's a valid thing. Like, what's up with that? Like you can have. I don't know, but I'm not going to go out and hate someone. But that's the thing. You can't ignore him. So he's a good display of that quote. And yeah, I think everyone and whatever you're trying to do, if you're not actively working to be the best in the world at whatever you do, it could be anything, then what's the point? I know it's just a different mentality. It's just a different way of operating life. Like everyone's just comfortable with where they're at. They're operating at such a low level to their potential. It's like you need to start stepping it up. Like it's possible, and because that's the sad thing. Everyone deep down knows there's more in them, but for some reason they're afraid to take that next step. But that's a sign that you should do it because it's scary and you're full of fear. So if you can almost instill this habit of this is uncomfortable, this is scary, I'm going to do it anyway, then you're building self trust, you're building confidence, and you can handle any situation.
It's funny you say that because that's right in line with something David Goggins has said, which is you know exactly what you need to do. You just don't want to do it. He's like, I don't feel bad for you because you know
Yeah,
what you need to do and you're not doing it. And
yeah,
I bet, the average listener of this podcast, if we invited them on, you know, as a third guest and we're like, what are your goals? What are your dreams? And they stayed on, we say, what do you have to do to accomplish those things? They would probably lay out a pretty good plan to get there. Like, I think generally most humans know what it generally could take, but they're just not willing to do it.
that's it.
Um,
You have to be willing to do it,
yeah.
and that's the part people struggle with because they start doing it and then they're like, this I can't. whatever, they talk themselves out of it. I don't know. I don't know if it's genetics. I don't, if it's personality. I don't know what it is. But this is the thing. It's like, even my life, I think, damn, I wasted so much time. What am I doing? Like, so then I go, how does the average person, like, I have a decent amount of results in what I'm doing and what I'm striving for. So then what is the average person doing if I think I'm wasting time and sitting around? I don't know. It's just a thought I have. And I don't know. That's why I'm taking my direction of social media so seriously, because I'm realizing, man, I'm blessed and I feel these things. I bet someone who's not even near my level would kill to be in the position I am, you know? So, one, I need to be grateful. Two, I need to help these people. And I'm in a position where I can. And like, I literally created this community. It's called Life Maxing, because I'm maxing out every area of my life, and anyone could do it, especially with the internet. And that's why building a personal brand is so important. You build your personal brand, and look what it's got you. You're meeting the greatest people. You're interviewing the greatest people. You're just starting, and this shit's not going away. 10 years, in a decade, you're going to be this massive fucking thing. And same with my personal brand. But if you don't start now, you're going to miss the train. And so basically, I think health is number one. Build your personal brand, make content. You'll make money on the internet. You'll get brand deals. You can sell your own stuff. And so I've had this community. We go on live calls every once or twice a week. And I'm literally helping everyone do what I'm doing, basically, so you can take control of your time and so you can be healthy and like develop confidence and have pressure, you know, because I think people don't have that pressure. They know they have to do it, but it's not painful enough where they're like actually doing it. You know, it's like kind of stings, it kind of hurts, but it's not moving them. And I think when you surround yourself with people too, like in this community, you're forced to take action and you're forced to step it up. And
Right.
that's when your mind is becoming success conscious. It's becoming action oriented. Whereas if you're filling your mind with, dude, I haven't watched football. I like every Sunday. I'm like, oh shit, football's on. I don't watch how do I have time to watch other professional men play football? I have my own shit going on. I have to step it up. Like, I don't know. It's just ever since I really wanted to get good, whether even in track, I stopped watching football on Sundays because I can't sit there and be like, dude, what are you doing? These people have made it in life. You haven't. Like, you guys step it up. It's just like a different. You are your thoughts in your mind and how you operate. So yeah. So if anyone's watching this, check out the Life Maxi community, because I'm literally teaching you the frameworks to build your social media, to get super healthy and jacked, and build confidence, build the mindset that you need to make it happen, because anyone can make it happen. And everyone that was in the live calls I've been doing, you see the potential. So they have the potential. And then it's like, if you just take the action, you can get here. And anyone could do it, because there's millions and millions of people on their phones daily. And everyone's unique. Everyone has their gift. Everyone can push out what they want to do. And you can be successful at it. You know, that, like I said, this thing's not going away. So you start now. If 6 months down the road, you go, damn, I should have started 6 months ago. You're going to kick yourself in the foot. You're going to regret that. And then you're in a negative spiral, and now you're delaying it even more. Whereas
Right.
there's no perfect time. You just start now. There's no perfect time. If I waited, I would not be where I'm at right now. It just wouldn't happen, you know?
Yeah, one of my favorite sayings is, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now.
Yeah.
But for people who are interested in joining that, they should just go through your Instagram, right? Jack
Yeah, so
Flood.
be on my Instagram. There's a link, or I post on my story. I'm going to post on my story every day, like join Life Maxing community. We're about 100 people in there, and if you get to a certain level, I don't know if you guys know school, like as you complete the videos and the information, if you get to level 5, I do one-on-one calls with you, and you literally get all my time. You like, which is way more valuable than what you're paying to get into the community, because you're getting decades of my life and what I've been through just put into you, where you don't have to make the mistakes, you don't have to go through the pain. Just listen, take action, and like just do it. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Something I want to ask you about as we start to wrap up this conversation. They had a study a few years ago. I'll probably butcher the study, but it was essentially it was like a mice, okay, and they had cheese in front of the mice, and they tested how fast they'd run towards the cheese, and then they also did another part of the study where they had a cat chasing the mice, and studies found that the mice always ran faster when they were running away from something as opposed to running to something. And how I heard it described was, as human beings, we are very similar. Like, if we have something to chase, we'll run fast, we'll go after it. But also, you shouldn't just be running toward a life you want. You should be running away from a life you don't want. And that will almost
Wow, that's
push you further.
powerful. I never
For
heard of
you,
that. That's cool.
for for you as Jack Flood, what is
Yeah.
the life you're running away from?
Ah, this is good. I like that a lot. I'm actually gonna frame my life like that. Um, Not being able to control my time. I wake up when I want. Obviously, I wake up early because I need to. I have to. If I want to progress and be happy and fulfilled and get shit done. But if I had to be somewhere at a certain time every day and someone telling me what to do, that's what I'm running away from. And everyone needs to own their time to some capacity. Someone needs to own their life and what they're doing to some capacity. And in 2024, when you have an iPhone and the internet and you're not actively seeking to do that, you're making a huge mistake. And look, you don't need to have millions. You don't need to have a crazy amount of money to do it. That's the thing. You don't. And I'd rather, and this was basically what I did throughout my 20s, is I'd rather have a little, but be working towards something that's going to hit the crack in the dam than making steady income that's at a job where I have to sit in the office, and which I'm not shaming. Like, if that's what you want to do, sure. This is not me. Even in school, like, I couldn't study for tests because I'm not studying geometry and like trigonometry. I didn't care. I'm never going to use that in the real world. So it's just a different mentality. Um, but I don't shame anyone who does it. But I want to control my time. I don't I don't want to live the life of damn, I lost my train of thought, but I just want to do what I want to do, and that was the decathlon. And if I didn't have social media, I would be screwed. But that's what I don't know. God has a plan for everyone, and you'll find a way. He'll make a way when there isn't a way. But you gotta put the work in, and you gotta sit down and reflect. I have a journal. I have everything I've written down the last 5 years. So I write every day. I reflect, and you need that time. There's a quote. It's like, if I had to chop a tree down, I would sharpen the axe 7 hours and hit it one. Sometimes it's just, dude, go for a long ass walk, think, meditate, stop being on your phone, stimulating, giving your willpower and dopamine away, and reflect on your life. How do you improve? What do you want to do? Like, one of my greatest times in my life, I was 19. I was a lifeguard. I was working at a couple pools, and I was making $10 an hour. So I was trading time for money, which sucked. Like $80 a day or some shit. I'm like, what can I do with that? I can't survive off of that. So, but I had to do it. So, um, but I would sit there because not the whole time people were in the pool, and I would just sit for 8 hours, whatever, thinking of the life I wanted to create. I want to be a D3 national champion. Um, I want to do social media. And obviously I was scared. I was fearful, like actually taking action towards it. But I actively took action towards it. And now I'm living in the times I used to pray for. And even now I go, I'm thinking about the future. And that messes me up sometimes because I'm like, can't you just appreciate what you have now? This is the times you used to pray for. And you're kind of stressed about the future. Man, the mind is a battlefield, and you need to learn that shit. And if you're not reading, if the average American is reading one book a year, bro, you can kill the competition. You can kill it. It's so easy. Like this shit is, it's simple. It's very simple. Technically, it's not easy because you need to do it consistently over a long period of time. You need to be patient. It's going to take a while. It's going to be painful, but the reward is always worth whatever shit you went through.
Again, what used to make a man acceptable now makes a man exceptional. And I think that
Yeah.
whole quote is crazy. Another crazy stat is that human beings now on average are on their phone on average more per day than hours of sleep per day. It's
Yeah.
just like, it's
No.
crazy. Anyways,
I'll say
wrapping up.
this.
Go
If
ahead.
you're on your phone that much, at least benefit from it. You know, I'm on my phone a lot, but I'm benefiting from it.
Yeah, you're creating things. You're
Yeah,
providing value to people, all that stuff.
exactly.
Jack, wrapping up this conversation, let's go like in 30 seconds or less. What is one thing the audience can do today, right now, starting today, closing out this podcast, like they close Spotify, one thing they can do to start to change their life? Flip it around.
This is good. You need to write down a routine that will completely transform your life by December. So the next 3 months, you need to commit to a routine that if you took every single day, this is the product I'll be in December. And just do what you need to do. Do what you're supposed to do, whether you feel like it or not. There's so many days I don't feel like training. But you're an decathlete. You should love it. No, but I still do it. I like the result. So take more time to be still. Take more time to reflect, to journal, and really sit with your thoughts because people are running away from their thoughts. And that's part of your routine. So etch that time out. And yeah, and come back to me, DM me in December when you're like, damn, my life changed because I just stuck to a routine. And that means you can't hang out with Sarah, you can't hang out with Johnny and your friends. Like, screw it. Who cares? Do you want to be part of the crowd or you want to be different? And yeah, so
Let's go. Ready to run through a brick wall. In regards to the motivation piece, I love this. The emotionally immature man seeks out motivation to do something hard one time. The emotionally mature man uses discipline to do something hard 1,000 times. Channel that energy. And yeah, DM Jack and I in December if you listen to this conversation. I want to see people transformed by this conversation.
yeah.
I got to run. A few notes for you. I'm Life Max. I'm head to the sauna in 3 minutes.
Let's go.
Big time. Anyways, a few notes for you. One, we're going to run it back in person before the end of the year.
Yeah.
We'll have that conversation about December. People changing their life. So excited to continue the conversation, man, because like, dude, anytime I hop on a call with you, I get so amped up on life. And I know it impacts people. And you're one of those guys that I feel like I could do a 3-hour podcast with. So
yeah, I could have easily got 3 hours because
I know.
there's so much stuff to talk about. And
I know.
I hope I got what I wanted. I verbalized correctly that can impact people.
You totally did, man.
Okay.
You totally did. So anyways, continue the conversation soon in person. Gonna be legendary. Gonna blow that one up. And then only other notes for you, man, is just like from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Yeah, you create such incredible content that makes me laugh, makes other people laugh, but also like, yeah, is changing lives for the better, has changed my life for the better. And again, going back to the beginning of this conversation, like what you said and how you taught me and praying big prayers and that phrase, like I asked that financial opportunities might chase me down, changed my life, as well as when I posted the podcast, you put on your story, like you were in your car and you filmed a video and you were like, Dominic's going places. He's 17 years old, yada, yada, yada. And I literally screen recorded it. It's still on my phone to this day. Even that was like some support I needed at the time. That pushed me over the edge. So you're a brother. I'm super proud of you. Keep crushing, and we'll chop it up again soon. Much love.
Yeah, Dominic, thanks for having me.